stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
City
News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the world. We are live on citynewsroom.com. My name is Hawah, Iddrisu, Mustapha, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kwaku, Aduamah, Ansah.
Coming up, Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament pays a courtesy call on the family of slain soldier trooper Imoro Sharif, who was killed in Ashaiman, with the promise to get justice for the fallen soldier. Also coming up, Ashanti Regional Minister proposes a 3-day shutdown of the Kumasi Kejetia market, which had parts of it destroyed by fire yesterday.
What I'm proposing is that it must be closed for minimum 3 days so that we look at them. If you look at we cannot solve the basic ones, it could be even extended to maybe 1 week.
Still ahead, prices of petroleum products go down by 6% in the second pricing window of March, but stakeholders in the sector say the reduction cannot be entirely as a result of government's good for oil policy.
So obviously 22% will not have so much impact versus the 78% which we are bringing on the other side.
And later, all is set for the final funeral rites of late Ghanaian footballer Christian Atsu, who died in the devastating earthquake in Turkey last month.
Preparations are underway. When you go to the grounds now, trusses are being mounted. The canopies are also being mounted over there. The stage is also being done for His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and the people he will be coming with.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is also live on all our affiliates across the country. Western region, we are live on Aduamah 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach FM 105.5, also in Takrady, Bono region, Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyine, Ashanti region, Focus FM 94.3 on KNUST campus, Kumasi, Orange FM 107.9, also in Kumasi. Volta region, we are live on Revival FM 99.3 in Tajewu, VOV Radio 95.7 in Hawah, Northern region, Radio Bimbela 91.9 in Bimbela, Upper East, Quality FM 88.7 in Garu. Upper West, we are live on Tonsong FM 97.3 in Wa and Jirapa FM 96.1 in Jirapa.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We are grateful for choosing us. Now, the Defense Committee is currently paying a courtesy call on the family of slain soldier trooper Imoro Sharif, who was killed in Ashaiman on March 4. Let's go over the phone lines and speak to my colleague who is currently with the committee, Charles Owusukumi, for more. Good afternoon to you, Charles. Thanks for your time. What has the committee been saying to the family?
Well, the committee led by its leader, the Honorable Kennedy Ejapon, this morning have come to the Ashaiman Zongolaka area where the family of slain soldier Imoro Sharif reside. Now, the Defense Minister and his entourage also joined the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament to come and commiserate with the family. The Defense Minister, in his speech or in his words to the family, told them to remain calm and not take any revenge. He says that the state was very much interested in this matter and they would use everything that's available to the state to bring the perpetrators of this crime to book. The Defense Minister, on behalf of the Defense Ministry, they gave the family of the young man 50,000 cedis, the father and mother of the Imoro Sharif, 50,000 cedis. The Honorable Kennedy Ejapon, who is the chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee, out of his own pocket, gave the family 20,000 cedis. And then on behalf of the committee itself, the committee gave the family an undisclosed amount of money. Together, they have assured the family that they are going to do everything to get justice for the family. And the Honorable Kennedy Japan once again promised to take care of the younger brother of Imoro Sheriff until he completes his university education. All of this was done amidst tears from especially the mother of Imoro Sheriff. She has been weeping uncontrollably because she has lost her son. But the defense minister says that this visit and some of the other gestures that have been made towards them, they know will not suffice, but they are hoping that it is enough to give them some consolation while the state works to get justice for their son.
Well, briefly hold the line for me. Let's hear exactly what the defense minister, Dominic Netu, has been telling the family.
Don't take revenge as a family and as people of Ashaiman. The gods of Ghana will answer for you. I know that it is difficult for all of us, but God has a way of defending the defenseless. And Ghana will defend this family and the people of Ashaiman. And in doing that, we'll do what is right, and we'll do it according to the law. I am sure that this young man who is here, if he decides to complete university today and say that he wants to be a soldier, the people of Ghana will gradually welcome him into the armed forces. I'm almost confident that in 15 years' time, when he's grown enough and decides that I want to be a soldier, the people of Ghana will welcome him with open heart to continue where his brother left off. We will be there when you need anything. Let us know. We are the Minister of Defense. Will be there to support you. And I want to thank the chairman of the committee for agreeing to support your family to look after this boy until he completes tertiary education. God bless him.
That was Defense Minister Dominic Netu. Charles is still on the line. Now, Charles, before we know the committee has moved from the family house. What did the family also tell the minister and his entourage after the minister gave them the assurance that justice will be served?
The family, they were grateful for the visit. They say that they are hoping that finally they will get some closure through justice. If they get justice, they will get closure from this case. So they are counting on the state to find the perpetrators of this crime. The committee, together with the minister, they have moved away from the Ashaiman Zongolaka area and from the family house. They have now gone to the official town. That's where soldiers came to brutalize some young men here in what seemed like a retaliation of Imoro Sheriff's death. So they have come to meet members of the community here in a church, in a Pentecost church here at official town. So that meeting is currently ongoing.
So how's the security in that particular area? Because we understand most of the people were unhappy with what the military did. Now, since the committee is there, what is the security looking like?
Well, the defense minister is here. So obviously there will be soldiers, some police officers. Basically, not many of them, but just enough to protect the MPs who are here and the defense minister himself.
The member of parliament is part of the committee. What has he been saying to the committee and to the family, plus his constituents, especially those who are still in police custody?
The MP, he's representing his people, so he welcomed the delegation on behalf of the community of Ashaiman. He also reiterated the call by the community to try and get justice for the slain soldier. But he also asked that some of the people who are still in police custody should be released as soon as possible. He's hoping that they will do that soon, and then finally justice will be served.
Well, you are grateful for your time. We'll come back to you in subsequent bulletins when you have more from the visit by the Defense and Interior Committee. That was my colleague Charles Owusukumi reporting from Ashaiman, where the Defense and Interior Committee is paying a courtesy call on the family of slain soldier Imoro Sheriff and also meeting some members of the Ashaiman community. Kwaku has other related stories.
Now, 2 of the 6 persons arrested in relation to the killing of a military officer at Ashaiman have been charged with conspiracy to commit murder and murder. Samuel Tete and Abubakar Sadiq are alleged to have robbed the deceased Imoro Sharif and stabbed him in the arm, which resulted in his death. The 2 previously were arraigned with other 4 suspects for counts of robbery and dishonestly receiving.
Let's now take you to the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, where the Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah wants the new KJTR market closed down until a thorough assessment of Wednesday evening's fire incident is done. The minister says about 50 shops have so far been affected. He's therefore calling for a committee to be set up to probe circumstances that led to the escalation of the fire outbreak. Among other things, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah wants the committee to establish why the sprinkler did not switch on automatically when the fire started and why the smoke detectors did not work effectively. He spoke to journalists after visiting the scene on Thursday morning.
It's not all the things we can do within the short term, but there are some we can do immediately. For instance, I'm going to check why the sprinkler did not switch on when the fire started. I don't think it should take months. We can look at it today, tomorrow, and see what we can do. Smoke detectors, maybe if they were not functional. Do we need months? You don't need months. There are some of them we can put in place before we ask them to come back. Because you don't know. If you ask them to come at 12 o'clock and around 12 o'clock, another fire starts and the sprinklers are not working, what happens? So anything that borders on security, that one, as head of the Regional Security Council, I can take decisions before reporting to them.
So what are you proposing?
What I'm proposing is that it must be closed for minimum 3 days so that we look at them. If you look at, we cannot solve the basic ones. It could be even extended to maybe 1 week. We have to protect lives and property. Now, these people who have lost their property, they've lost all their livelihood. What are they going to live on? We thank God that no life was lost. If we had casualties in terms of life losses, it would have been more serious. So I think we have to look at it again. As head of the Regional Security Council, who has been here with members of the Regional Security Council, we are saying the shop must not be open at 12 o'clock until we look at some basic security issues concerning the operations of the market.
That was the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah. I'll take you live to the region shortly. But before we go there, following a meeting between the management of the new KJTR market and leadership of the traders within the facility, it has been agreed that all shops would be closed for the next 3 days starting from tomorrow, March 17. Shops have, however, been opened this afternoon for all traders within the facility to assess the conditions of their shops. Let's go on the phone lines and speak to our bureau chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opomafo, for more. Good afternoon to you, Edward. Thanks for your time. Now, before we come to what has been happening today, what is the current situation at the new KJTR market?
So, just at 12 noon, the market was open for some traders to have access to this facility to basically assess the extent of the damage and also to even check if their shops are in good shape. And so the place is still dark. Once you enter, you actually realize that indeed normal activities are not going on. But people have been to come in to check if their shops are okay. In fact, last night and even earlier this morning that we've been moving around here, we realized that there were a number of shops that were not locked. What we are told is that when the incident happened, these traders had to run for their lives. So they even locked, they had to leave. The police officers were around to ensure that people who were trying to take advantage of these shops do not come in and engage in the stealing or even petty theft. And so the police officers, some are still around.
Edward, can you hear me? Hello, Edward?
Hello, I can hear you.
Can you please reposition yourself? Your lines seem to be getting some bad feedback. Can you just reposition yourself, please?
Hear me?
Unfortunately, can you please try a bit more for me?
Yes, hello.
Yes, it's better.
Is it better.
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Right, so so far, the traders, because some of them had to rush from their shops last night because of the fire incident, some did not even lock these shops. And so the management of the facility a while ago had a meeting with the leadership of the traders, and they came together to come up with this agreement that these traders should be allowed to go in to check if indeed their shops are in good shape, everything is okay, and then they decide what to do. But the directive now is that once today they are given that chance, because some were not even able to close their shops and all that, from today they will not be allowed to come to the facility to engage in their usual trading activities. And so from tomorrow, that's Friday, to Sunday, this shop will be closed down for some kind of thorough assessment to be done. So after a 3-day period, that's when they will allow the traders to come in here. And so that's what the management has been saying so far, Hawah.
Very well. So we understand that officials of the Ghana National Fire Service are blaming managers of the facility for not putting in proper safety measures which could have prevented last night's fire. What exactly did the fire service say?
And so the regional commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, ACF-01 Henry Jiwa, when we interviewed him, he stressed that indeed they have spoken to the management of this facility on several occasions to fix some of their gadgets, and especially with the ones that will help them fight fire incidents. So once there's a fire incident, they will be able to prevent these ones from escalating. On several occasions, the management has not responded positively towards that, and so they have even indicated that some of the equipment that they are using here are not compatible with the ones that the fire service officials use. But all these things have not been done, and so he is blaming them for that. In fact, he showed the regional minister all those ones. He took the regional minister and the entourage to the various places to explain to the regional minister why they are saying that. And so that was it. But just a few minutes ago, I spoke to the MD of the facility. I posed that question to him, but he is defending the facility, saying that for them, they did all the right things, and that indeed when the fire started, the facility was able to control it to a point. And so had it not been the fire safety measures that they have put in place, it would have even been worse. And so he's insisting that they did no wrong, and that the traders are supposed to be extra careful when they are dealing in some of these things, and that where the fire incident started, he feels that could be the fault of the traders, and so they are not supposed to be blamed when it comes to this.
The regional minister is calling for a committee to be set up to probe the circumstances which led to the fire escalating. Did he state exactly when he intends to put up that committee?
Well, what the regional minister is saying is that he is having a lot of issues with respect to how the management and even the board of this facility has been constituted. He's saying that based on the fact that they set up this facility, and he being the regional minister is not on the board. The KME mayor is the board chairman. It says that there are officials from the local government ministry, officials from the finance ministry, they are the persons on the board, but he is not having any direct oversight role when it comes to the management of this. And so he's not in a position to come out and say that he is going to lead the charge for a committee to be set up. But what he's going to do is that he is, in fact, after he has seen it and also engaging with the Regional Security Council, he believes strongly that a committee has to be set up to look into why this incident happened in the first place, and how, when it happened, it was not able to control, as the facility was not able to control it, and it got to the extent that it got to. So he is asking the question that the fire safety measures, were they really put in place, that the strong measures were put in place or not, and the fact that there were no proper smoke detectors to really effectively look at how to alert people. Because if the fire officers had not been around and they had not used the rooms, perhaps there could have been casualties. And so it's saying that a lot of questions have to be answered, and all the issues concerning various controversies that have been raised about this facility in recent times, all those issues have to be looked at comprehensively. And so he feels that a committee has to be set up. But because per the laws that really establish this facility, he is not having any direct role, he cannot lead that charge, but he feels that the relevant authorities have to put measures in place to ensure that that is done.
Now, the traders who were affected, what were some of the concerns they raised with the minister when he toured the facility today?
So the traders are worried about the fact that this incident has happened, and they are worried that, they don't know how they are going to get their monies back. And they were particularly concerned about the issue of insurance, because they were saying that based on the information they had, the place was not insured. And so they were looking at how authorities can actually help ensure that all these things are done. And when the regional minister reacted to all this one, he indicated that, the committee that he's proposing should be set up, should look into all these issues, to look at even the issues of insurance. But the management of this facility, I just asked the manager of this facility, that's the managing director, and he categorically stated that indeed there will not be any kind of insurance cover at the moment, because he says that they had one insurance package, but they were reviewing the policy, and in the process of reviewing it, the incident happened. And he was even saying that, even if the insurance had been active, there is no way they could have actually paid for the various items that have been destroyed, because the insurance was actually for the facility, not the various items in them, and that the traders have not even come to the management to talk to them about the various items they have, so for them to even quantify, and there can be an insurance package. And so for the traders, now it doesn't look like there's any hope for them, because it has been confirmed that there's no insurance that will cover that. But the management is saying that they are still liaising with the board, and they are going to have a meeting to decide if there will be any form of support that can be given to the traders who have been affected.
Very well. Now, briefly, before you go, what did the traders agree to the fact that the market will be closed down for the next 3 days?
Yes. So the traders, in fact, the leaders were in a meeting with the management for some time, and were actually waiting for them to finish. And we were even in the meeting, and they came out with that decision that, yes, after today, that's after 12 p.m., that the traders have been allowed in. After today, they won't be allowed in. No trading activities will go on up to Sunday. That's a 3-day period. And so that's the decision. And it was something mutual between the traders and the management of this facility.
Very well, most grateful for your time. That was our bureau chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opon Mouth, reporting from the new KJTR market, where we understand the facility is expected to be closed down for the next 3 days, beginning tomorrow, March 17. This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Hawah Iddrisu Mustapha, here with Kwaku, Aduamah, and Ansah. Still to come, prices of petroleum products go down by 6% in the second pricing window of March, but stakeholders in the sector say the reduction cannot be entirely as a result of government's gold for oil policy. We have details of that, plus other stories coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Aduamah, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Hawah, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So a handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV?
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key?
Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Aduamah has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Aduamah. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Listen up, people. There's good news for Airtel Tigo customers who haven't started and those who are yet to complete their SIM re-registration. Yes, good news. Complete your SIM re-registration and get free 5GB data falla to browse, chat, Zoom, TikTok, Snap, and do more on Airtel Tigo to change your world. If your SIM has been blocked, don't worry. You can have your number back and also get a whopping 5GB data as soon as you register with your Ghana card. Simply visit the nearest Airtel Tigo shop or agent today. Complete your SIM registration now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Association of Oil Marketing Companies says the actual impact of the gold for oil policy cannot be truly assessed as products from policy account for only 22% of the petroleum volumes at the pumps. This follows comments by Vice President Dr. Mohamed Baumia that the policy has resulted in a drop in fuel prices. The association, while acknowledging the potential impact of the policy, noted that a better appreciation of the effect of the policy will depend on its accounting for at least 50% of the volumes of fuel at the pumps. In an interview with Citi News, the chief executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kwaku tasked stakeholders to work towards increasing the quantity of volumes supplied through the policy.
The enthusiasm has been very good. I said that we have not been having enough fuel for everybody because you remember the percentage to the total output is not that much. So obviously not everybody can get it as I speak. If we have to speak right now, what has been supplied so far constitutes about 22% of the market. So obviously 22% will not have so much impact versus the 78% which we are doing on the other side. So it's a gradual thing. At any rate, there's an effect.
Okay. The one major reason for having this good for oil policy was to address the forex needs of the OMCs. Has this helped in any way? And if you have any figures available, can you help us understand how this has helped?
I don't have figures offhand here right now, but I know that it has really helped in terms of getting the product purchased. Because right now, what it means is that you don't have to chase for the full-fledged quantity of the dollars that you need. It's partly taken care by the good. So obviously, we don't have enough, so much forest out there. But the result is that we are getting the fuel.
That was the chief executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kwaku Ajumandia.
Meanwhile, the executive secretary for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, Duncan Aduamah, says with the continuous decline in the price of crude oil on the international market, fuel prices are likely to keep reducing locally. The price of petrol and diesel at major pumps this morning saw a decline by at least 50 pesos at major fuel pumps. Duncan Aduamah says the depreciation of the cedi must be checked to see a continuous price decrease of petroleum products.
It is also likely to even continue declining in the coming days if you look at the global context, that prices generally across the world are simply falling. Yesterday, close of day, in one single day, crude had declined quite significantly to now close trading at around $66 from the earlier 70s. They had declined so sharply. The general trend is that across the world, prices are declining. I'm quite certain that we would be able to get the full benefit of these declines once we do look at the cedi, the local currency which forms the basis of calculating pump per liter at the local pumps. If we are able to continue to stabilize the cedi or work on the cedi properly, then the pass-through effect for most Ghanaians at the pumps will be that you're probably going to see a lot more significant declines at the pumps.
Executive Secretary for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, Duncan Amoah.
A group of minority political parties calling itself the Third Force Alliance has kicked against the newly proposed constitutional instrument of the Electoral Commission. This comes barely a few days after another group addressed the media declaring their support for the CI. Under the new CI, the Ghana card will be the sole identification document for voter registration, a move the National Democratic Congress NDC, together with its members of parliament, have opposed, stating that it will disenfranchise some Ghanaians. Speaking to journalists, a member of the Third Force Alliance, who is also the National Communications Secretary for the People's National Convention, PNC, Audu Ishak, says the minority in parliament must do everything possible to prevent the CI from becoming a law.
Fortunately, the position we have taken has been backed by similar calls from the revered Dr. Kojo Afarijan, as well as the reputable Center for Democratic Development, CDD, among others, for the Electoral Commission to have a second look at the proposed constitutional instrument. Dr. Kojo Afarijan means no words in advising Madam Jean Mensah and the Electoral Commission not to expunge the guarantor system from the voter registration requirements. We hold the view that the Electoral Commission must heed such a call from Dr. Afarijan and others, as this is the only way to engender the confidence and collective buy-in of the Ghanaian people in this proposed constitutional instrument. The Electoral Commission must be reminded that anything short of this, we are unreservedly opposed to such, and we call on Parliament, especially the minority group, to do everything humanly possible to stop the constitutional instrument from becoming law. Let it be on record that we are not in any way opposed to the Electoral Commission, and we are not attempting to put any impediments on its way in the performance of its constitutional mandate. However, as political actors and citizens, we have the solemn duty of contributing to protect the sanctity of our democracy. We shall stand up in defense of the many silent and incapacitated Ghanaians who are worried and concerned by the looming danger posed by the intransigence of the EC as contained in the current form and structure of the proposed constitutional instrument.
That was the National Communications Secretary for the People's National Convention, Audu Ishak.
Let's bring you more stories. And the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, has petitioned Parliament to uncap the Ghana Education Trust Fund, that is the GET Fund. NUGS says there has been a decline in the funding of education as a result of the capping of the GET Fund. The student body says this has negatively affected the allocation of funds to the Students' Loan Trust Fund and other educational agencies. The national president of NUGS, Dennis Apialabi Ampofo, in presenting the petition to the Education Committee of Parliament, appealed to them to reject the 2023 proposed formula for the disbursement of the GET Fund.
Out of 4.6 billion that is supposed to be accrued to GET Fund, only 1.8 billion, representing 39%. The students of this country query in shock. Even God takes 10%. Simple. So some of our challenges that have come up with infrastructure, with high rise in fees, lack of funds for student loan, and every day you hear the students of this country complaining about non-payment from student loan, comes from the fact that the necessary funds that's supposed to be released from GET Fund to some of these agencies is not going. Standing before this house, we are aware that the formula has been presented to you for discussion, or will be presented to you for discussion. Honorable Chair in your committee, you stand at a crossroad where the fate of our young students lies in your hands. First thing, reject the formula without any equivocation. We can only have a comfortable discussion about the future of education when the funds that is meant for education is guaranteed by this House. Move strictly to, in collaboration with the Finance Committee, initiate steps to immediately uncap debt fund.
So you heard there the National President of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUCS, Dennis Appiah-Labi Ampofo. Meanwhile, the Executive Director of Education think tank, Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, says the committee must take a decision by Monday to save the education sector from collapse.
Let's respect the fact that education funds are meant for education. I mean, we hope that by Monday, the select committee should take a decision, because next week, one of the issues to be considered at the committee level is the debt fund formula, which we are asking the committee to reject. The plenary should also reject it. So it's as immediate as next week. The first argument to rise is to consider we are encouraging that they should reject the formula and insist that debt fund is on for the approval formula. That condition is very, very important. Other than that, we will not be seeing a good story in our schools. Anytime you go to the schools and you see that there are schools under trees, children learning on the floor, and everything you see related to racial deficit, bear in mind that less than 20% of debt fund accruals is likely to hit that account this year. Because the finance minister came to Parliament again on December 21 last year and brought a second capping law, which has now increased, which has now reduced the percentage of the debt fund that we have now from 25 to only 17. People don't know about that. That bill was passed at the dawn of 2020. And so there's a double capping now of not only debt fund but other earmark funds. But we are focused on debt fund because that's education cash.
Executive Director of Education think tank Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare. Now, the chairman of the Education Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Amankwah-Esiamah, assured that steps would be taken to ensure that the GET fund is uncapped.
You informed us, and we told you we'll be there for you, and we will collect your grievance and make sure that it is delivered to the right place and right actions taken to make sure that the GET fund is uncapped, if from nowhere, from Parliament. And we know if it comes from here, it will be effective. GET fund is the only dedicated fund that has been earmarked for the development of education in our country. Capping it to the extent of giving it about 17.5% in recent act, I think it's not the right thing. Education is expensive, very, very expensive. But if you try vices and ignorance of the youth, in later years, it will cost you harmfully and more than if you had used the money to educate your youth. We will do everything possible within our means to make sure that GET fund and earmarked fund like GET fund is used for the education of our country.
So you heard there the chairman of the Education Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Amankwah-Esiamah, speaking.
Some new patriotic party members in the Ashanti region have threatened to vote against certain members of parliament who failed to be neutral ahead of the party's flag bearership contest. The group, which constitutes polling station executives from constituencies in the Ashanti region, insists that certain members of parliament who are openly endorsing flag bearer aspirants risk losing their seats during the party's parliamentary primaries. Members of the group have also served notice they will not be coerced by any certain member of parliament to vote for a flag bearer who does not suit their choice. An executive member of the Ashanti Regional Grassroots delegate of the NPP, Frederick Owusu, addressed the news conference in Kumasi.
Some members of parliament holding juicy appointments and contracts in the current administration have been moving from funerals to funerals and granting interviews endorsing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as well as forcing him down the throats of MPP polling station executives to accept him as the 2024 presidential candidate. We, the grassroots delegates, want to send a strong signal to those members of parliament to desist from such campaign moves. We want to state it unequivocally, without any shred of doubt, that We, the grassroots delegates, stand united behind a presidential candidate who would be accepted by the people of Ghana, an ideal presidential candidate who have a message of hope for the teeming unemployed youth and the good people of Ghana. We cannot afford to lose 2024 general election. We want to tell those MPs that they should not break the party before we break the eight.
Frederick Owusu is an executive member of the Ashanti Regional Grassroots Delegates of the NPP.
Let's take you to the Eastern region now, because the Nkoko Magistrate Court has remanded into custody the 71-year-old visually impaired man who allegedly murdered his wife on Tuesday dawn. The suspect, George Mudo, beheaded his wife at Abeputia, a suburb of Nkoko in the Kwaku West municipality, after his wife threatened to divorce him. Prior to this act, George had engaged in a heated confrontation with his wife, accusing her of being ungrateful after she threatened to divorce him. The suspect, who was put before the Nkoko Magistrate Court, presided over by His Lordship Isaac Ajay, will reappear in 2 weeks' time.
This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Hawah Iddrisu Mustapha, here with Kwaku, Aduamah, and Ansah. Still ahead, all is set for the final funeral rite of the late Ghanaian footballer Christian Atsu, who died in the devastating Turkey earthquake last month. We have details of that and other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
At the British Council, we know that our experiences in life are what shape us. The things we see, the places we go, the people we meet all make an impact on the future we create. Change is driven by people with dreams bigger than themselves. The chance to study abroad is the chance to make an impact, not just on your own life, but on the lives of the people you left back home. When you experience the world beyond borders, you can discover what's possible for the future you envision. When you set off to further your education abroad, you can return empowered and ready to put your plan for change in motion. Great experiences await when you study in diverse countries like the UK. You could make an impact on your entire community because you took the chance to own your future. It starts with an IELTS test from the British Council. Visit our website today and discover a world of opportunity.
Charlie, so the first thing they do when you wake up is check out highlights. And then all you go remember, I for take the kids to school. He left small, you drop the ball, boss. You go fit meet your deadlines without ever missing the game. Now you be true, boss. You then make it to date night on game night, but still they catch the game, right? Hey, Charlie, boss. You then bring you the best leagues for any screen top, wherever you did. From only 59.99 Ghana cedis per month. Live from Super Sports on Showmax Pro. Sign up on showmax.com.
Ghana is a country that's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage without soul food? And what is soul food without a touch of ethnicity? And what is ethnicity if it's not from your village? This season of all things Ghanaian is upon us, and we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Come, let's treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, the middle, and the southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity. While at it, we'll be jamming to genuine Ghanaian music amidst games, competitions, storytelling, and so much more. Interested vendors of indigenous foods are invited to register. Don't let this be another missed opportunity. Call 0205-973-973 to book a stand and be part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar 2023. Anyamime, the country make hot too. So come, let's enjoy some good food, resounding music, heartfelt camaraderie, and remind ourselves why Ghana is still our home at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar on the 25th and the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the AMA from 8 a.m. each day. The Back to Your Village Food Bazaar is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi Citi FM and is sponsored by Voltic Ghana Limited, Malta Guinness, Africa Business Bureau, Fortune Emopa, and Pan-African Savings and Loans.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back to the Citi Prime News. My name is Hawah Iddrisu, Mustapha here with Kwaku, Aduamah, and Ansah. Now, Christian Atsu, the former Black Stars player who died in the earthquake that hit Turkey in February, will be interred in his hometown, Dokobome, near Adan in the Greater Accra region tomorrow. Prior to the interment, a burial and Thanksgiving service will be held in his honor at the forecourt of the State House here in Accra. The final funeral rites for the 30-year-old footballer will be organized by the Chasam family, and the spokesperson, Robert Enin, has been discussing the details of the preparations with Citi News' Evans Ofuchu Manso.
Preparations are underway. When you go to the grounds now, trusses are being mounted. The canopies are also being mounted over there. The stage is also being done for His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and the people he will be coming with. And then things are getting ready. Almost all the logistics are ready at site, and we are trying to be ready for tomorrow.
As you expect the President of the Republic, which other dignitaries are we looking to have at the funeral tomorrow?
Well, I believe some of the diplomatic corps will also be coming. The Turkish embassy, they've played a pivotal role in the whole process right from the beginning till Grace was brought home, and he even came home to pay homage and sign the book of condolence. And I think that former ministers, the president will be coming with his entire agent. If the president is moving, you know the kind of people he moves with. We are expecting everybody.
Well, it's a date which doesn't favor most of the Black Stars players because they'll be playing for their club football. How unfortunate is it not to have some of his teammates at the funeral?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we all can't have things the way we want it. And maybe the 24th or next week that they may be available for the funeral. Some people will also not be available. And I don't think we can ever find a day that is convenient for everybody. So we just have to adjust and then do this and do it now. Most of them have been in touch and they've expressed their sincere condolence. And we also understand that they are working and their clubs wouldn't allow them to come, seeing that there is an international break in the coming days. So we understand then, and it's unfortunate, but we bear with anybody that wants to come and is not able to make it. This is where we've gotten to now, and we just need to move forward and bring this chapter to a close as quickly as possible.
Well, are we to expect his UK-based nuclear family at the funeral?
For now, I wouldn't know what will happen in the coming days. Newcastle was making an arrangement, and before we started speaking, I was just online with them. That will be confirmed by midday. So by midday, I will be able to, or we should be able to know whether they will be making it or not. But as it stands now, I cannot say no, I cannot say yes.
Let's talk about the sort of support you guys have received. I know you guys have expressed your gratitude, but let's look at the entire process from when the incident happened in Turkey to, and now that you guys are set to have the final rights for your late member of the family. How is some of the whole process for the Chasam family?
It's been a sobering moment, if I may start with. Right from the day we heard the news, and His Excellency also decided to take it personal. He instructed his ministers. They spoke to the Ghana Football Association. They spoke to the embassy in Turkey. They took things up and the search began. Unfortunately, Chris was found after 10 days or so, but wasn't found the way we wanted it. They didn't just leave it there. They did their best. He was brought home, and they've been in touch, collaborating with the family, making sure that he's given the state-assisted burial that His Excellency the Vice President also spoke about when we came. Things has been smooth. There's been no hitches anywhere, and whatever arrangement we are supposed to put in place and they are also supposed to put in place has been done. And by the grace of God, tomorrow, God willingly, will be giving our brother the befitting burial that he deserves.
That was the spokesperson for the Chasam family, Robert Eni, recently discussing details of the preparations of Christian Achu's funeral tomorrow with my colleague Evans Ofuchu Manso.
In more stories, the Ghana Cocoa Board, that is the Cocoa Board, says it is working with relevant security agencies to arrest persons who are engaged in the smuggling of cocoa to neighboring countries, particularly Ivory Coast. Reports indicate that some persons purchase cocoa from the farmers which they smuggle to buyers in other countries. Speaking to City News on the matter, the public affairs manager at Cocoa Board, Fifi Boafo, said some smugglers have been arrested and are facing prosecution.
Cocoa Board has an intelligence unit that is working with the national security agencies to get, first of all, information on issues of people smuggling cocoa out of the country. And when they are able to get the information, the security agencies support our intelligence and security staff to apprehend some of them. So it is happening in some quarters of our country. Some have been arrested across the country, different places in Western region, Western North, specifically Volta region. There's been a number of recorded cases, and sometimes even other parts of the country which are not border regions. Some prosecutions have already started. So such persons who have been arrested are facing the law. It's our expectation that the security agencies will support us in this quest. Yes, there's some level of collaboration, but we still have information that in some instances, such persons are able to get away with it. We will much rely on the support of the security agencies because Cocoa Board cannot be everywhere and do not have the necessary logistical support to apprehend such persons wherever they may be. So yes, the engagements are ongoing, the collaboration is ongoing, and then it's our belief and expectation that we'll be able to deal with all such persons who are involved in this illegal act.
Fifi Boafo also indicated that agents of Cocoa Board are sensitizing farmers against the said act.
Our extension agents are engaging the farmers at their local level, but the truth is that the farmers themselves are not the people who are in this business because the farmers don't carry a bag or two or say 5 across the border. It is these persons who have now formed a certain group who buy the cocoa and transport it across the country. So yes, the farmers are aware, but some come in the name of licensed buying companies, buy the cocoa from the farmers, and then they transport it out of the country. So the farmers themselves are not the people responsible for this act.
Fifi Boafo is the public affairs manager at the Ghana Cocoa Board.
And one of the survivors of an accident which occurred at Mensa Krom on the Agona Nyakrom stretch says people who came to rescue them also stole their money. He says the 1,200 cedis which was meant for his child's upkeep at the school was stolen from him. The driver of the taxi which was involved in the accident, 36-year-old Ishmael Kwao, died on the spot after the victim, one of the survivor, Yao Amwatin, suffered a broken hand and is currently receiving treatment at the Agona Swedro Government Hospital. The survivor, Yao Amwatin, condemned the act and wants his money returned.
Me and my brother made no question so is kuma. Nti me ko high taxi no or a taxi driver na me high no say you dey no question kuma. Na me ba ko kan. E ko ye tra me sa krum a ye ko yen krum a ofro popo no usane na. Isu to ntimi de me hu hwe ne me ti ase Jesus.
What happened was that I was sending my daughter to the secondary school at Isikuma. When we got to Nyakrom, our taxi cab got involved in an accident. The driver was not drunk. He is a Muslim. But the only problem was that after the accident, those individuals who came to our rescue made away with 1,200 cedis, which was meant for my daughter's school. And this is bad. As we sit here now, we don't have any money left. The individual who took the money must return it.
1,002. You have to turn your money in you had no conanka, you had to be a journey, be a driver.
Yewa Martin is a survivor of an accident which occurred at Mensa Krom on the Agona-Nyakrom stretch in the central region.
Now, the Ghana Students Association in Hungary has bemoaned the non-payment of their stipends since July 2022 by the government of Ghana. According to them, the situation is taking a toll on their academics since they are forced to engage in long shift jobs to support their upkeep. Speaking to City News, the president of the association, Ansah, says they have written officially to the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat and the Embassy in Czech Republic, but have not received any responses. They are therefore calling on the government of Ghana to urgently intervene and make funds available to them.
We are currently having these challenges whereby our stipends are left unpaid for months before we get being responded to. Because these stipends have been in arrears for a very long time, 9 months now, and we haven't received any stipend from the government of Ghana. Students are now, the main purpose for which they are here, to engage in long shifts of jobs to be able to get some to sustain ourselves. Currently, the jobs availability to us here in Hungary is also very small, very few job opportunities for us. We don't get a lot of job opportunities. A lot of our students are now facing eviction from the accommodation as a result of unpaid stipend. And this is very problematic for us. We are calling on the government of Ghana to, as a matter of urgency, intervene and release funds to the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat for our immediate payment. We are calling on the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat as a matter of urgency. If there's any information that we need to know, we are scholars in Hungary. At least it will be fair for them to communicate to us the processes and the measures that have been taken to ensure our immediate payment. We haven't received any information from them as of now. We have petitioned them in writing, and all other avenues for which have proved fruitless, no avail. We haven't heard from them so now, so we are calling on them to, as a matter of urgency, explain to the students the circumstance and measures taken for our stipends to be paid.
So you have there Ansah, who is the president of the Ghana Students Association in Hungary.
And that brings an end to today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. Now, before we go, a recap of our headlines. Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament pays a courtesy call on the family of slain soldier trooper Imoru Sharif, who was killed in Ashaiman, with a promise to the family to get justice for the late soldier. Also, we brought you a story where prices of petroleum products have gone down by 6% in the second pricing window of March, but stakeholders in the sector say the reduction cannot be entirely as a result of government gold for oil policy. And you heard from the family of late Ghanaian footballer Christian Atsu. All is set for his final funeral rite tomorrow at the forecourt of the State House. The news was live on all our affiliates across the country: Western Region, Aduamah FM 100.7 in Takwa, Beach FM 105.5 in Takoradi, Bono Region, Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyain, Ashanti Region, Focus FM, KNUST Campus, Kumasi, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, Volta Region, Revival FM in Tajewu, VOV Radio in Hawah, Northern Region, Radio Bimbila in Bimbila, Upper East, Quality FM in Garu, Upper West, Tunsong FM in Wa, and Jirapa FM also in Jirapa. You can log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawah, Iddrisu, Mustapha, and I was here with
Kwaku, Aduamah.
Netele Nete Ajaho is up next with the afternoon's edition of City Business News. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great afternoon.
City 97.3. More variety.